Well, it's Oxford Stadium on a wet and windy Thursday evening, where tonight Bradford Northern entertain Halifax at last in its much rearranged third round of the Regal Trophy. Bradford Northern players coming out onto the field to the Northern chant, very, very quickly looking at their team. Peter Fox relying roughly on the same team that had that fantastic win at Castleford a week ago, with Dave Watson at number 1, Juddy Cordell at number 2, Steve McGowan at number 3, still in for the injured Daryl Shelford, still suffering from that broken nose. Paul Lulov at number 4, Bree McCabe, the men with all the pace, at number 5. The half-back, maybe something of a surprise here, David Herron. The youngster up the side, I say with one eye closed, at number 6, obviously there for distribution skills rather than his pace, although Peter Fox will be the first to argue with there, arguing that David Herron's one of the, as fast as not many, as any of the half-backs playing the first division today. And of course at number 7, Derek Fox, the captain. A mighty front row of Davy Hobbs at number 8, very much as another surprise choice last week at Castleford, but having us blinder, Paul Medley at number 9 and John Hamer at 10. Workhorse back 2 of Roy Powell and Paul Dixon, with Carl Fairbank, the Great Britain tourist of the last 3 tours, at number 13, and the substitutes are number 14, Trevor Clark, and what maybe is going to be expected, much of a forward battle, the weight and might of Paul Gratian at number 15. The Halifax side, Halifax, one of the teams very much on song at the moment. Steve Lee, the former Hunslet player, at number 1, John Bentley, John Schuster, Graham Hallis and Mark Preston form a very, very classy 3-quarter line. Michael Hagan, the former Newcastle Nightman, at number 6, with Chris Robinson, the Bradford lad, playing for the first time in Bradford, at number 12. For Halifax, that is at number 7. John Fieldhouse, the St Helens man, ex-St Helens man, at number 8. Johnny Lawless, one of the youngsters in the side, at number 9. And Gary Lord, the former Leeds man, at number 10. Very, very pacey back row of Michael Jackson and David Boyd, who makes up the threesome of the Newcastle Knights in the Halifax side. And Gary Vorty at number 13. And their substitutes are another Bradford lad, Henry Sharp at 14 and Mark Perrott at 15. Now it looks as though Bradford have won the toss, and they'll be playing into the end in this first half. Obviously going to be very much a game of 2 halves today. Referee today, Mr. Connolly from Wigan, and Derek Fox gets the game away. Chris Robinson very much into the throw, feeds the ball out to the, well, straight away it was Michael Jackson with the ball, and Bradford going in a little bit late. Looks as though it could have been Paul Dixon. Of course, Dixon, an ex-Halifax man, will be out to impress today. So straight away after virtually 15 seconds, giving Graham Hallis a chance to put the ball into touch. Graham, of course, a former Dudley Hill youngster. Gary Lord, very much moved up in the ranks these days, the former centre 3-quarter at Leeds in his earlier days. Oldham, now playing in the front row. So Jonathan shots, more we'll see Lawless scooting away from half back. Straight away Bradford, Halifax making a superb break, and it's once again that ever-reliable David Watson having to pull off a try-saving tackle as Halifax put the pressure on. Little kick through from Hagan, ball having it covered. So a lovely little break there from Halifax, holding the ball up well. So just 30 seconds of play gone as Halifax pinged the ball from the scrum. Hagan with a wide ball out. McGowan up very, very fast, so cutting his man out. Good defensive play there from the big 3-quarter for Bradford Northern. As short as the game goes on, the players will become even harder to recognise. Lawless once again shooting off from acting half-back, as we said he would do in the preview. That's where Bradford Northern got to watch him. Very, very pacey little youngster, this lad. Can play the half-back or no, and Paul Dixon going in there with a mighty tackle, knocking young Perrott back. Perrott gives him a look, switches the ball inside. Robinson has been criticised for not going forward enough, but strong play from Jackson, goes round Hamer, and it's all Halifax at the moment as this first 2 or 3 minutes tick by. Out to Robinson. Robinson looking for that drop goal. Did it just flap over? No, said Mr. Connolly. Must have just gone wide, because it looked as though it was high enough from up here in the gantry. So some very good pressure there from Halifax early days as Dixon drives the ball in. Of course, the winners of this tie will be away to London over the weekend, and I'm sure both teams will be anxious to get the game out of the way and get on that trip down the M1. It's Roy Powell. Straight away it's Fairbank. Fairbank from the Elland area, as we all know. It's his hometown club. Back inside to Powell again. Powell being involved 2 or 3 times already. Fox. Out to Heron. Heron gets the ball to Nolan. Nolan steps inside beautifully. That famous stat that was illustrated so well at Castleford of the week. Fox again. That little chip through into the corner. Well picked up by Steve Lay, though, sensibly using his feet as he comes inside, but a good chase there by Kebby, keeping his man pinned in that 25. Schuster helping the forwards out, taking a drive in. But Paul Medley, he'll be there to work from that marker position. That's the instructions he's got from Peter Fox tonight. David Heron now, a little bit of a high tackle. And so Bradford Northern in this first 3 or 4 minutes, giving away 2 penalties already, and I'm sure Nigel Stevenson won't be too happy with that there, sat on that bench. Fieldhouse taking the ball in. Bradford Northern up very, very fast. Sure, it's going to be a battle of attrition in that front row today. Good yards there with a missed tackle from Paul Dixon. Robinson at first man, that's where it'll be all this evening. Doesn't go forward very often, but obviously Malcolm rather happy with that role from young Robinson, preferring him at the moment to Bishop. Has been talk of young Robinson going to Keighley, but now seems to be establishing himself in this first team. Bradford Northern creeping up there, maybe a chance of offside, like a bit of a forward pass. Conley says no. Everybody in the crowd seemed to see that one, apart from the referee. Once again, back inside. This time Hagan puts the ball up. Watson comes across. Kebby's back there with him. The ball goes back. That'll be back to 1. The chance here for Halifax. That's a good try. Kebby's been sucked in. And that looks like first blood there for Halifax. Well, looked to me there as though Kebby didn't quite manage to get that one under control. Went up, put the ball back, unfortunately. Went to a Halifax player. Looked like Schuster who picked the ball up. And fed John Bentley, who stood out wide, who had no difficulty, no opposition really in front of him, just touching down in the corner. So the first blood after just 6 minutes of Halifax. It looks as though Halifax have got their game plan marked out quite clearly. They're going to get in that 25 of Bradford Northern. They're going to try for the drop. If that's on, they'll be putting high bombs up and testing out David Watson as the difficult conditions make it almost impossible to catch the upper unders tonight. Away goes the Derek Fox again. This time it's the change of direction. Puts the ball down. Straight away Jackson wanting the ball. He's looking for a big game to Jackson. Hunslot lad like David Eden. A little bit of needle there. And I'm sure Nigel won't want David Eden getting sucked into a personal duel. Good tackle though there from Fairbank. Covering across. Fairbank last couple of games been right at the top of his form. And that's more like it from Bradford. This power defence moving up. Medley again working from marker. That's why Peter Fox puts him in the side at number 9. That's the role he wants him to play. Making 2, 3, 4 tackles in succession. Long deep kick down to David Watson. David Watson lets it bounce, as he always does. Sometimes frightens me to death, lets that ball bounce like that, and occasionally, as we saw at Valley Parade, he does get caught out. On this occasion, having no problem. Fairbank drives the ball in. David Hobbs stood on the blind side waiting for the ball. David Hobbs has seen a gap round there. Takes the ball forward, hits and spins, but there's nobody in support. I'm sure David won't be too happy with that. Want men with him when he goes forward. This time it's John Hamer, but the Halifax defence very, very good. This time the referee, I think it was divorce on that occasion, giving away a silly penalty right on the, I think it was the 4th tackle on this occasion. taking all the pressure off Bradford Northern and giving Fox, well, not the best of kicks from them, Derek. There's the ball spiraling off his foot, gaining only about 5 or 6 yards, but John Hamer takes the ball forward. Local derbies always usually dour, never really living up to expectations. Once again, Medley shooting down that blind side. Beat the first man, but good defensive play the second occasion. Cordell there making great yards. Mark Preston, of course, and Cordell want to be one of those exciting duels that we get winger against winger head, and holds the ball up, decides to go himself. On his own on that occasion, though. Fox again, Fox and S, strips one through the gap. It's like a good length kick. Bentley took that one, good defence from Bradford. Great chase, should I say, there from Bradford. Excellent kick from Derek Fox, well weighted. Usually puts those a little bit wider onto that bit of a mound in the corner, but on this occasion, putting the ball perfectly behind those posts, and the chasers from Bradford Northern tackling Bentley behind the line. Derek Fox, another one of the Northern side who's gradually finding his top form. Last year, so there's some horrific groin injuries. Came back now, Nola with the ball, steps inside. There's no way through there, though. Schuster marshalling his man. Just makes him tap inside. Fox gaps out wide if Northern can move this. Derek Fox. Very, very tightly marshalled, though, by the Halifax defence. 3-4 Halifax defenders on him on that occasion. But Halifax getting sucked in, looked to be playing this Australian style defence. Obviously feel they have the pace on the outside in Preston to play this compact defence. But of course Bradford Northern have pace to spare out there in Cordell, and of course Kebby, no slouch either, but a penalty there for not standing square at the play the ball. Possibly one of the directives that's come from the Rugby League. You can see that ball once again going into the wind. 1 or 2 groans there from the Bradford fans, but obviously a very, very strong wind in Halifax's favour this first half. Derek Fox found it difficult to make any ground at all. There comes once again Medley shooting off right in half back. I think when Medley goes there, that's what we'll be seeing him do. This time Dixon comes in. Very, very fast play the ball. Now then Bradford Northern in the ideal position to attack, to put the move on, which they do. Little switch move there. Men coming from all out. Fox stands up, but nobody coming on his own. Gets the ball out wide to Powell. Powell stands in, but well tackled by Bradford on the last tackle, so that'll be the handover. Bradford really not making the best use of that last tackle, but at least they've got Halifax pinned here underneath their own post. But well, one thing we can say to Connolly is going to be consistent tonight on that one. Obviously, like I said earlier, one of the directives that the referees have had from the Rugby League HQ to tighten down at the play the ball. They want to fast play the ball, they don't want any interference, they want people standing square. Let's just hope to say that shows some consistency throughout the game. Fieldhouse going across. Bradford Northern though, no way through there. Very, very solid this Northern defence. This is Gary Lord, he takes the ball forward just inside the Bradford Northern half now. Johnny Lawless. 2 players, Lord and Lawless in skull caps for Halifax. Hagan sees the gap there, but just can't manage to get free to get that final pass away. But certainly the Halifax halfbacks looking very, very dangerous so far. Robinson playing more of a little general's role. Looking left, looking right. Robinson again, this time it's a little chip over. He's seen that Kebby's moved up. Watson's gone across, he's got to get that ball away from the line. Steps inside, but just manages to get that away. A good chase there by Robinson off his kick. Kebby cuts inside. Looked very much like offside to me on that occasion. Once again, they're not stood square to play the ball. Nick Fox was having to take the ball forward. Medley with only one way Medley's going to go, and he shoots away. Medley, of course, brought from Halifax. This time it's Eamon and Bradford Northern have worked that way over to that blind side, very, very well taken to that far touch line. Fox on the last tackle. puts a good kick in this time. But Lay's there. This time he gives Preston the ball. They're giving the ball straight away to the paceman, but Fairbank up very, very quickly. Schuster now. No way that Newell's going to get this fella out of his sight, so. But Bradford nearly getting caught there at the play of the ball. Newell getting in a little bit tight. And there was room down the blind side. It was only the awareness of David Heron that saved us on that occasion. Boyd coming down this blind side. And getting put into touch for his troubles. Good defensive play from Kebby. And David Hobbs. David Hobbs policing the blind side on that occasion as the Bradford Northern fans get behind their favourites. 15 minutes gone. Fox feeds the scrum. Robinson round very, very quick. Out to Heron. Heron looks over, caught in two minds there though. Watson wanting the ball quickly. David Watson, one of the kind of players that wants the ball straight away. He'll make his own space. He'll make his own gaps. Just giving the ball, and Bradford Northern once again Hamer working round superbly. Another one in the Bradford side playing against his hometown club, making excellent yardage there. Three-quarter line for Bradford now, nice and deep. Dummy runner inside to Watson, in comes Newell. And one off and still strong play from Newell. The pure strength of the man's unbelievable. He takes the ball down again. Fox, he'll run round. David Heron holds the ball up, floats it out wide. Powell good thing gets away, and Bradford Northern bring it back again. Kebby steps inside. Bringing to the last tackle. Northern go for the one. David Hobbs, he's seen a big gap through there, puts it back through the plate. Can be a dangerous kick, can that though? Straight to Preston. That's not the man we want to be kicking to. He's a guy that we all know, right at the top of his form, capable of going the full length of the pitch, and certainly not the man to be kicking straight to. So Halifax now, they decide to work the blind side. David Hobbs pulling his troops across. Watson dropping right back, expecting the kick. Wide open for a little chip through if Halifax decide to put one on. Boyd loses the ball though, and Fairbank says thanks a lot. Drives the ball forward. And straight away, Graham Hallis. Good play, Hallis, but if he's got a fault, he does give away lots and lots of needless penalties. The kind of player that the coach can say, get out there, wind him up. He'll give the penalties away. The kind of lads you can suck in. So John Hamer drives the ball forward. For me, they're knocking Hallis, and actually I think it was Perrott actually will get that silly penalty away. Lay was it, I'm corrected. Number of blonde-haired lads, and it's difficult to see from up here. I'm not making it good to Bradford and put the ball inside. Dixon hits one, spins off. And certainly Bradford now beginning to get these forwards more and more into the game. Long, really with all this pressure, she was looking for the try. A ball floated out with a good ball out there from McGowan. And that looks like a good try out there for Bradford Northern. An excellent ball. A four at first, Bradford was a little bit flat. But the ball came out, a lovely pass. Superb ball from David Heron, splitting the Halifax defence right down the middle. Steve McGowan took the ball well and just scampered over unopposed behind the line. And there's just 21 minutes left of this first half. Thankfully the rain seems to be holding off. Long kicks. Nice little bit of football there from Roy Powell, bringing it down. More like. So David Watson coming into the line. David jinking forward. Look, bit of a high tackle there from Flawless, but it takes a good one to knock David out of his stride. Back to John Hamer. John Hamer certainly going through a heavy workload at the moment, working hard. So is this for the David Hobbs. He takes the ball forward. Hits and spins, but very much aware of Hobbs' handling skills. Halifax, whenever he gets the ball, crowding him, not getting the ball to be spin out. Obviously instructions there from Malcolm Riley. And Kebby there Running quite away but not making much yardage forward to Fox. Fox this time stabs one through. Tries to bisect Leigh and Preston. Preston with plenty of time to pick the ball up. The Bradford Northern defence is very, very good. An excellent tackle. Superb tackle there from Derek Fox. And then a wonderful tackle as well by Powell. Working very, very hard, Bradford, especially from Marken. No more than that man there, Medley, but this time managed to get the ball away. It's Fieldhouse. Bradford shuffle across, closing that blind side down as Halifax tries to get the ball over. Lawless shooting away. Back to Robinson. Robinson with the ball to Devorte. One of the kind of players that's always going to hold that ball up. Leigh this time hoists that one high. It's a great kick, but virtually the whole of the Halifax team must be offside, giving David Watson plenty of time to get the 10 metres required. To Cordell. Cordell steps inside. Bit of a gap, but he couldn't quite get through it. Watson slipping, but still managing to beat a couple of guys as he always does when he gets that ball. What a tremendous player Dave Watson is. Can be clearing his line. Defensive work. Surely very, very early contender here for the player of the season at Bradford Northern. Possibly one of the best buys the club's ever made. And of course he was a former Halifax man, and how they must rue the day they let him go. David Heron coming in, working close to the ruck on that occasion, away from the role where he should be expected to play. That's the pivot man, long ball out to Noel. Big Noel with the pace, little chip over. Leigh's made a bit of a mess of it. Bradford are there. Is that a try? Connolly goes across, looks to his linesman. No try. Nolan's convinced it is a try, but Connolly said no. Now then, I can't see the replay of this one, but I'm sure you can. You can judge for yourselves on this one. The Bradford fans in that bottom quarter will certainly want to try. Nolan thought it was a try. Maybe Leigh just got back there and managed to clean up things with it too, but certainly something they'll be talking about after the game. It's going to be a crucial decision later on. So Halifax puts a deep kick for Halifax straight to Watson. Watson winds up a gear. Back inside to Cordell, and met with a high tackle though. Has Mr. Connolly seen it? Bit of a skirmish going on. Bradford Northern players getting involved. It looks as though it's Fieldhouse on this occasion, being pulled out for a word of warning from this. But Bradford have sensibly take the tap. Obviously learning from that kick by Fox earlier on that it's virtually impossible to kick outside that 25. So Fox wants the ball. Roy Powell coming hard, coming straight. Good defence from Halifax though. And the pitch wearing remarkably well considering the weather we've had over the last few days. Bradford Northern missing a man out. Watson get it, but he's overrun his man. He comes back inside and still managed to keep it alive. McGowan see the back gap but couldn't quite get through it. Not really going to plan that one. I think Bradford could have come in a little bit deeper. Hobbs holds up the missed kick, but eventually does get the pass out. So Halifax at the moment holding out this siege from Bradford Northern as they Heron. Watson gets to Noel now. Noel gets the ball to Kevin. Kevin's got a man, cuts inside. Kevin's still going, but there's no way through for him. And eventually three Halifax defenders holding Kevin down. We come to the last tackle. Fox wants the ball. Decides not to get this time. Get it to David Watson. Basketball pass to Watson. Medley puts rather a dangerous little kick in, but gets away with it. Once again, the pacemen that Halifax have out wide. On that occasion, Bentley nearly being given an open run to the line, and it's something Bradford Northern have to be very, very careful of. Fieldhouse now takes the ball up after taking a short pass from Robinson. But once again, Bradford Northern covering across. This time it was Fox. Lawless shoots away from that in half-back. Straight into Paul Medley, his opposite number. Medley working again. Now that certainly was a forward pass. Mr. Connolly having none of it as we come to the last tackle. Ball goes back to Hagan. Hagan knocked over by Medley, but the referee says play on. Will that ball be a little bit too strong? Will it hold up? Looks as though it's a good kick to me, but David Watson gives himself plenty of time. Dave Watson seems to have some canny habit of picking out the biggest man in the line of defence and running straight at him, ricocheting off him and going another 10 metres. This time it's Kebby. Just tries to scoops away. Once again, covering a lot of ground but not making much yardage. The blind side again. That's good break now. It's McGowan on his own. Cuts inside. Good play from Steve McGowan. Gets the ball and Kebby's put the ball down. So tremendous break by McGowan. Superb play. So that's has to go down the let off. Maybe they should have finished better. Want the best to pass it, but Bentley going across. But what a cover tackle by No Love. No Love. Bit underrated in a defensive way. And that's not the best tackle there from David Hobbs, though. Eventually, Fox will rescue the situation with a good tackle. John Fieldhouse again. He's working hard. 14 minutes of this half left. Robinson again. Devote goes through it to the blind side, but nobody going with him. Devote very much a man on his own on that occasion. Robinson decides to kick, puts the kick through. Once again, Kebby taking very an earth to get back there. Puts himself a little bit under pressure. That's scooting back. Looking three Halifax chasers pinning him in. First one there, Robinson himself, the kicker, putting everybody on side. Watson squats Robinson off, but Lawless pulls him down, rangs him about. Foul, and at last, the Bradford Northern fans say Halifax have been penalised for being offside. The Bradford fans should have say. Roy Powell takes a little free kick. Hobbs now. Good switch of play from Heron. Fairbank just a little bit early on that run. The ball's gone down. I'm sure the referee will give a knock on. Yes, he has. Yes. David in there looking to switch play down the blind side. Fairbank coming just a little bit early on that run. Couldn't quite take a clean ball, so the ball going to ground. It'll be Halifax head and ball virtually on the halfway line. Robinson feeds the scrum, puts the ball out to Leah, who interlinks, but not really coming at any pace, and it's no difficult for the Bradford defence to pull him down to the ground. Hagan again, he's looking to switch play. Certainly a man that Bradford have got to watch is Hagan. Robinson put away this time. Mr. Conley give the pass, and I didn't really think that one was forward, to be honest with you. Off to David Hobbs. So 4 points as we approach half-time. Possibly Bradford will be content to go in at 4 points all with his strong wind blowing in the faces as Roy Powell spins around but can't get the pass in. But of course Bradford will be looking for further points this half. Out to John Hamer, who's worked tirelessly this half as John Hamer. Out to little Derek Fox. Had an option to come inside. Looked from inside, decided to go. One of the few occasions when he went forward himself. But of course, Derek will be able to do that more and more now with David Heron being on the park. Powell getting through there, just couldn't get that last pass in. But once again, Bradford Northern in a very commanding position. It's the last tackle. Would decide to spin it wide. Beautiful pass there from David Hobbs. McGowan still spinning round, still trying to get that pass in, but like a flies around the jump pot, those Halifax supporters there. A little bit of chaos out there, one or two angry words being exchanged, but Halifax coming away with the ball. Bradford now will be very careful they don't get caught offside, because really the only way Halifax are getting out of their 25 is when Bradford gives silly penalties away. Tackling like that from Medley, there's going to be no way out. A little bit of an overlap outside here to get the ball away, and there's the overlap. Bradford got sucked in. It's 2-1 out here now, but a forward pass being given. Well, Mr. Connolly right in line. And that's his third time out of six. Third time in third set of six. Halifax being pulled up for a forward pass, but the writing very much on the door for Bradford there. They cannot give these three quarters of Halifax any quarter at all. Very, very pacey. I personally just thought that one was just a little fraction forward. Heron, nobody with him. He wants those runners out wide for him to David Heron. Dave Watson, he tends to go in half back himself. He's got Fairbank on the left-hand side, and he hits Fairbank, who drives forward. Ross is climbing all over him, obviously trying to rile Carl. And Connolly this time seeing the forward pass from Fox to Dixon. And really, the number of forward passes today is quite surprising from both sides. That doesn't include the ones the referees missed. However, Robinson throws the ball in the second row. Not the best of passes though. Hagan misses this one, but Alice gets the ball. He steps inside. Watson's come right into the line though, as fullbacks do on these occasions. Knocks him back down again. Slow play the ball though by Halifax. Really disjoints his line as he tries to take the ball forward. Once again Halifax sending that dummy runner in as Fieldhouse comes in. Boyd there, saw a little gap inside, but Newlove on that occasion had seen the danger. Once again Halifax switching play, bringing play across behind the play the balls, looking for the gaps. Is a little bit of a knock on, or is the referee? Yes, he's seen it. Michael Jackson knocking on under pressure there of the tackle from David Hobbs and Roy Powell. Just 5 minutes ago, Fox puts the ball in, shoots off a rugby union style, trying to catch it off the number offside. Heron goes forward. Derek Fox wants a quick play of the ball. Up to Carl Fairbank. Fairbank busting one, but just can't manage to get away, but steps into it, certainly working hard there. Coming from all over. But once again, Halifax giving away a very, very silly penalty, which under normal circumstances would be an automatic 2 points for Derek Fox, but with this wind, one can't be too sure. So Halifax giving away their 8th penalty of the half, and I'm sure Malcolm Riley won't be happy with that at all. So Derek Fox, as we said, under normal circumstances would have no problem here, but on this occasion strikes it and pushes it wide. Obviously tried to welly that one as hard as they possibly could. But 3 Bradford Northern defenders there straight away. Once again, a little bit of holding on there, and Bradford, I think, a little bit lucky to get away, especially with the new ruling where these referees have been told to speed up the play of the ball. Fieldhouse takes us forward, takes Halifax forward. Robinson feeding the ball along the line to Lord, who once again goes down the Wigan, and one would have thought that Lord, being a former three-quarter, would have played a little bit more football, but getting very stereotyped Halifax. Brings us to the last tackle. Bradford must get fast back, but it's a great tackle there from that occasion. It was John Hamer forcing the kick in. Watson doesn't make any real effort to get across, just let the ball go into touch. Well, lets the clock run down slowly. Just 3 minutes to go on by my reckoning, with a little bit of injury time. Bradford Northern, Derek Fox feeds that scrum. Watson's in the line, he wants the ball. Fox maybe could have done with giving that one just a little bit earlier, giving the little fella a little bit more room to work in. Out to David Heron, who's worked out well, but the long ball across. Better to McGowan, bumps off one, bumps off two. Of course, McGowan. A lot of competition now for the place within this Bradford Northern three-quarter line as the touch judge comes on. As he's seeing a little bit of a dig there into Steve McGowan's face. Or does McGowan retaliated similarly? And once we see there, Hallis again giving away those needless penalties. This time I think I've got it right. So very much taking the pressure off Bradford Northern, allowing them the easy passage out of the 25. Getting rather a severe lecture from the referee on that occasion. Having a word with his captain, Michael Hagan. So maybe it was a little bit more than just a little punch goes in. I won't say any more than that. I'll leave it to your own imagination what I could be getting at. So Bradford Northern hitting the line side. David Hobbs holds the ball up beautifully. Men just a little bit late getting there though in support. The gaps were there. The miss move there from Bradford to Heron. Heron steps inside. Hasn't quite just penetrated the Halifax line cleanly, but he's certainly been near on numerous occasions as Fox goes in. Once again, more than whipping the ball out wide. Stepping inside. Up very, very fast. This time it's Hobbs. Hobbs puts it in deep. Into that little hill. That Hills are going to stop there and hold it there. Cordell's got there beautifully. Great play from Cordell. The ball being held up in the corner there. Little bit of local knowledge, as they say, when you're putting on your own golf course. David Hobbs, very much a golfer these days. Showing superb accuracy there. Watson takes that one. A little bit dicey when the Halifax fans calling for a knock on, but Watson held it cleanly. Gets the ball out. The Fox who shrugs off one tackle, steps inside, and Bradford now. Oh, and a right cross going in there on that occasion. Has Mr. Conley seen it? No, he hasn't. Out to David Hobbs. As we just move into injury time now. Well, there goes the hooter as I speak. Well, they like the referee blowing up straight away. So in what has been a typical cup tie first half, it's Halifax 4, Bradford Northern 4. The try coming for Halifax from John Bentley, being replied to by Steve McGann in the right hand corner. So what hopefully will be an attacking half for Bradford Northern with this strong wind behind them. Halifax, Bradford Northern 4 apiece. Well, we prepare to start this second half. Looking very, very quickly on both sides. Doesn't seem to be any changes on Halifax's side. Away we go. And it looks as Paul Grayson on the pitch. I think he's come on for Paul Dixon. Maybe thought it was a bit of a knock. Yeah, Dixon's on, so we're looking around. Maybe a straight swap, prop for prop. John Hamer, we think it is. But as he opened my mouth, John Hamer takes the drive in. He leaves Carl Fairbank and Roy Powell, and Roy's there. Well, a silly knock on there by Leah Fuller. Straight away, Bradford put on the pressure with long kick, I'm sure. This will be what Bradford will be using this half, a long kick into this Halifax half. Short as again at Bradford, just want to get out of the way. After all the toing and throwing that's been going on this last week. Players not really knowing where they are. Derek Fox, first attack of the game, switches it blind. It's a straightforward little blind switch. Well, straight away Grayson trying to get in the action, but coming miles too early, and Derek Fox not managing to get the pass in, the ball being knocked on. The Paul's first touch of the ball, not the best of touches. Well, straight away, Peter Fox looking to make a change. For Halifax again now. Better ball to Devoted. Doherty cuts inside. Looks a little bit high, but a good tackle by Gratian. Gratian was last game out against Warrington when he certainly came on and made a distance, and a good tackle once again now from Gratian. That's a field out. Bradford having to tackle well as Halifax come with a little bit more determination this half. This time it's Robinson. Robinson puts a low kick through. David Watson with plenty of time to fix it up. He makes no mistakes. Shows him first man. Spins off. Oh, tackles round Watson. Over didn't try to still fast. They're picking up there, driving him back. Good chasing tackle there from Halifax on that occasion as Kevin comes in and scoops away. Met by a very high tackle to Mr. Connolly. Seeing nothing untoward on that occasion. What a strong guy this guy is. Absolutely unbelievable. Stepping out of tackles. Newell really a tremendous player. On that occasion there, Medley went in an early ball, didn't get it. Gratian takes it and manages to hold on to this one just. Fox switching play to the blind side. Got a man outside, but decides to kick through. A well-weighted kick. Right over Preston's head into the corner. Superb kick. Did it touch the touch? Well, I think that probably just touched the corner flag, in which case it'll be touch and goal. So strange, straight away. So straight away after just 4 minutes, Trevor Clark coming on for the hooker, straight swap for Paul Medley. Foster just giving Medley a bit of a rest before he brings him back into the fray. Jackson firing out your forward pass, referee saying no. Lawler trying to win the blind side, but all the experience of Derek Fox closing down that blind side. Now we'll drift across into the sweeper position, covering that little chip as Lord drives in. Gratian though and Powell very much up to the tackling. Back to Hagan. So Halifax surprisingly kicking more this half what they did in the first, as Watson picks it up superbly. Straight at his man. So Watson into his fellow Kiwi there, Schuster. This time it's Hamer who drives us forward. Trevor Clark. Noticeable since he moved on in a half-back out. The play the ball has speeded up as Hobbs switches play down the blind side. Newell though not having any way, not Newell. Yes it was Newell not having any way through on that occasion. Fox again. Wants the ball, misses a ball. The best of passes to Powell. Powell had really no chance of taking that one. Halifax now with an overlap on this outside and get away. There goes the ball. Preston Price, Preston the paceman. Cardell carried him down a super, and that could be a nasty tackle there on Preston. And straight away, Jerry Cardell turning him into the recovery position. Seemed to fall very, very awkwardly on his back. Well, let's hope that young Mark Preston's all right there. Seemed to catch his neck as he went down. Certainly nothing untoward there from young Jerry Cardell. Just caught his man really. His centre of gravity seemed to spin him round onto his neck, and let's hope he's all right. But certainly he's laying prostrate on the ground there. And so the Halifax players looking around a little bit concerned. Bradford Northern quite sensibly have moved away from the incident. Well, I think he's going to be okay. A little bit droggy. Certainly took the wind out of his sails, and looks as though the young lad's going to be all right, which he really is good, because the game's tough enough as it is. Incidents like that. Occasionally the lads do get injured, professional amateurs, and as we know, neck injuries can be very, very dangerous. So thankfully things are okay. Mark Preston resumes the position on the wing, and off we go again. Oh, silly knock on there once again. Lawless throws the ball away in disgust. Ball capturing Paul Dixon as he does so, and Paul looking a little bit annoyed about it. Derek Fox coming round the scrum, showing Trevor Clark where the ball's got to go. He has to drop on it very, very fast. Well, oh no, in that case the ball didn't go. Halifax up fast. Adam wants it down the blind side. Oh, intersection time there. Devotion's got a man inside of it. Alice Cornell's on him like a flat door. Well, great tackle there from Jerry. But once again, Bradford Northern putting themselves on the cross. Halifax on the attack again. Schuster holds the ball up, just held the ball there. Sure, they should have done better there. Didn't go inside, didn't go outside. And a very poor play the ball. Referee's going to knock on, and it's a straight for Bradford Northern. Well, I'm sure Malcolm Riley's pulling his hair out, what little he has left. The second time in the space of 12 tackles that Halifax have knocked on behind to play the ball. The ball into the scrum. Robinson's around very, very fast, but Watson gets into the line. Aaron cutting inside. This time he makes sure he holds that ball tight. Grayson drives in using all that bulk. Well taken though by Roy Powell. This time Bradford managed to get away, but look how fast these Halifax players are up there. Good defence once again from Halifax. But Bradford must get this a little bit deeper and get this ball out wide to the danger men. Medley now playing in this right centre position. Newlove in the left centre position. That's where the danger men are. That's where the ball's got to be going. Trevor Clark wanting a quick play the ball. Halifax come up first. This time Fox decides to hoist it up and under. A very high kick. Lay, don't take it, lets it bounce. Jackson's behind it. And really Dave Watson saying, how could I be offside? I kicked the ball. So, a little bit of debate about that one as to whether the Bradford players were offside. It's filled out to rise up from the play the ball. Halifax nice and deep, good three-quarter line. It's Hallis. Bounces off David Adam, but Paul Dixon comes across, knocks him down to the ground. So Lord takes the ball just over the halfway line into the Bradford half. Certainly been Halifax's game so far. Jackson cutting in, this little squat runner. Good play from Jackson, he's going well. Lawless, a little hooker. No way through for him though. Jerry Cordell goes down, holds him to the ground. Robinson. And this time it's Hagan that knocks on. Well, they've certainly got the drops at the moment of Halifax, and that's another let off for Bradford. But are they going to make Halifax pay for all these unforced errors? This time Watson comes in from the blind side. Scuttering about, but once again he's not getting very, very far. Trevor Clark at acting halfback decides to scud away himself. No, he doesn't push it back inside. Bradford players stood around. And certainly Bradford looking a little bit lost at the moment. Just wanting to go in and settle the ball down and then let the halfbacks get in there and start dictating plays. But they've certainly got to start doing the hard yardage of Bradford. That's better from David Adam, taking play forward. That's what Bradford haven't been doing for the last couple of times. Had the ball. Out to Fox. Fox kicks. Steve Lay uses his foot this time, makes no mistake. Bradford have got a good chase on though, and this time they managed to pin him in. He's 25. It's Halifax so coming in one. Trevor Clark very much out of position at the moment. He's got to get back into that line. Halifax looked dangerous his last couple of times with Jackson. These did look to danger man. That's a Preston with Cordell. Cordell, more problems though. Brings his man across and throws him into touch. That's good play from Jerry Cordell. Certainly a big game play, Jerry Cordell. A wealth of experience behind him on that wing position. Had the confidence to give Preston the outside. And then just shepherd him into touch. But Jackson looking dangerous for Halifax on the last couple of occasions he's had the ball. I think there's going to be a bit of magic from this fella that's going to pull it out from that for Northern. Kevy steps inside, makes good yardage. Newell giving him plenty of time to work in, the kind of ball that wingers like when they've plenty of room. Watson's got in there. But once again, throws out a silly pass this time. Kevy just manages to keep all of it, but that's how Dave plays the game. You're not going to change him. One of his little faults, but his good points far outweigh his bad points, and nobody's going to stop the way that David Watson plays the game. As Grayson goes in. Grayson always likes to unload in the tackle, but Halifax very much clamping the ball in there, giving no opportunity to pass the ball out. Fox switching inside, Roy Powell, and deciding very much to keep it tight down the middle for a moment to Bradford. Little inside balls once again. Fox once again superbly weighted, but Bentley that time had dropped back just far enough, and Fox really chased his own kick, put everybody on side. Bought up a superb tackle. Certainly a good game tonight, Derek Fox. This time it's Lales comes in. Well, there was room out that side if Halifax had decided to move it, but they decided to keep it tight once again. Robinson still dictating play, feeds the ball to Fieldhouse, who gets a good pass away. Now the overlap side, Bradford can move it out. Not the best of passes. And Paul Medler operating as emergency centre, had his man well covered. And it's young Mark Perrick, the former Ovenden junior, who will be coming on for John Fieldhouse. Fox feeds the scrum. David Eden picks the ball up. Does he knock it on? I think he does. Mr. Referee is right on the spot. He sees it. And once again, I'm sure David Eden can feel those eyes of Peter Fox burning the back of his neck. He's not far from the dugout. Robinson fields the ball. Hagen got a man inside him, decides to go himself. Good tackle from David Heron. Shoes haven't really impressed so far this evening, being well marshalled though. Playing against the Great Britain centre in Paul Newell. So Perrick straight into the game, looking to go outside. He has the ball. So Gary Lord, who's worked hard for Halifax. Nice well weighted pass to Devorty. Bradford haven't moved up on the blind side. Robinson decides to move it. Schuster this time, but once again it's being closed up and forced back. Brings us to the very last tackle of this set of 6. Halifax move it out wide. Kevin's giving him the outside. Keeps the ball back behind the section. It's Newell striding away. This is class play. This is the man, the bit of magic that we needed. Well, when it was all Halifax, certainly been the team to put the pressure on so far this half. It's Bradford that come away with the points. An interception and that long striding centre. Paul Newell going on that left-hand touchline, and is that going to be the one that breaks the hearts of these Halifax players? Got a strong wind behind him. Well within his capabilities. This catches it sweetly. It looks good. The fans cheer. Here it is. Oh! Great goal kick there from Derek Fox. Harry Nosex is on for that superb long-distance try by Newell. Halifax cover was there, but the pace and the strength of Newell were just too much. So, 18 minutes gone to this second half, and Bradford Northern going to a 10 points to a 4 lead. Schuster, a deep kick. Derek Fox just ducking and diving there, nearly getting away, got ranked back by his collar. Dixon. Maybe we'll see a little bit more purpose now from the Bradford 6. fast, like lots and lots of changes, very, very difficult. Try and get any rhythm. David Hobbs, of course, having gone off. Medley operating in the centre. Fox, this is where Bradford Northern want to play this half. Down here. Lay obviously having problems there. Fox inside him. Pick him up, throw him down. Lay there really. No options for him. Bentley. Not really been involved in much action. I thought he wanted to make up for that try. Schuster, he goes forward, but a man very much on his own on that occasion. They've already been missed out. Boyd, the Australian, the Newcastle Knights man. Ball being covered up inside there by John Hamer. Out to Pettit. But no way through for the youngster on that occasion. Hamer. Hagan though can't get any height behind his kick. He's prepared just to push it through, giving Watson plenty of time to pick the ball up and drive it forward. So Schuster giving him no avenue to go through another cage. Having good yards there from Kebby. He shoots away from acting half-back. One or two of the Halifax forwards looking a little bit weary now. Constant battering from the Bradford Northern six as they drive forward. Big right foul stepping away. There's a man inside him. Goes through but centre rolls onto the ball. Halifax slows him down. He wants a quick play the ball and he gets it out to Watson. Watson feeds the ball to Fairbank. Fairbank just being held up. Better play from Northern. Gratian now, he ducks through. Gets the ball well taken though. Superb take by Medley. Well, there's the last tackle. That's a lot better from Bradford, but could still be doing a little bit deeper when they attack this line. Give the three quarters just a little bit more room in which to work. Lawless shooting away once again from acting half-back. Making valuable 10 metres. He's done it time and time again. Robinson out to Devotee. Devotee is no man who's going to just try and pass the ball around it, but he needs support players coming with us. Another good tackle there though by Cal Fairbank. Hagan really losing his feet as he's just trying to step through, bringing us to our last tackle. Robinson kicks it deep into the corner. But Jerry Cordell making no mistakes, not risking the wrath of Peter Fox, designed to let the ball go into touch. Giving Bradford head and ball. Hopefully Derek Fox will have no other putting the ball in. Out to Heron. Right. 10 points to 4 as we go into the last quarter of the game. Once again, Bradford Northern standing, not really coming on to the ball. One has to say that Halifax going up very, very fast. John Hamer, he's come hard and strong all night long. This is more like it. Bit of head of speed from Paul Dixon. This is more like it. Straight, good hard straight running. He's going to kick here. Fox, not the best of passes, superbly picked up. Gets hit a little bit late off the ball, but still managed to get a good kick in into the bottom corner of the park. That's where we want to be. Good chase though from Gratian. Hasn't really got the pace to chase Preston, but what a good chase there by Cordell. Bentley stepping out of 2-3 tackles there and making good yards, so they're not dead yet on this Halifax outfit. Away they come again, nice deep three-quarter line. Decides to miss his man out, maybe that was the wrong move. Jackson gives his man superbly. Alex, what a good tackle from Cordell. There's no hole in this man tonight. He's here, he's there, he's everywhere. And he's still got the strength to wave to the crowd to accept the accolades. So it's, once again, Bradford Northern having to thank Cordell for that wonderful cover tackle. Very, very slow. They're both out of the scrum there, and one would have thought that Halifax were offside. Now Watson gives the ball to Nolo, the danger man. He steps inside. Still gets the ball away to Kevin. Must be a wingman's dream playing with that big fella out there. Giving the winger all the time in the world, and Halifax really falling asleep on Kevin here. There must be offside, but referee Connolly having none of it. This time it's Gratian. Ducks that shoulder, but doesn't make any yardage at all. This is more like it. Fairbank coming on with a head of steam up, coming from deep, coming hard, coming strong. Trevor Clark. And John Amer passing the ball. Maybe a first off for tonight. Clark switches play to Powell. Powell comes with a superb ball, but the defence is good enough on the support from Bradford. Just a little slow in getting there. Fox tries a drop goal, but not the best kick that Derek's had in his career. This one just going underneath. Possibly would have been a good one for Liverpool tonight, but on this occasion, no avail whatsoever for Bradford Northern, giving Halifax a tap on the 25. So once again, the Aussie boy doesn't really impress us tonight. Driving forward. This time it's Jackson. He's looked the danger man for Halifax. As Devotis switches play. Feeds out a nice ball. Good play, but really lack of support there. Hallis stood with his hands on his hips, not really getting there. And Robinson, this time to Perrott, who's worked hard since he's come on. Plays the ball to himself, and Mr. Connolly says there's no problems. So Bradford Northern really just getting caught a little bit of sleep there, and they can't afford to relax at the moment. This time, once again, we go to that corner. This time it's well weighted. Right into the corner, right in. Possibly would have been better if it hadn't gone into touch. As it is, Bradford Northern now get time to drift back to get a bit of fresh air down them, fill the lungs up, and they won't be hurrying back there. "15 minutes to go. Northern 10, Halifax 4. This time, of course, Bradford come away again with the ball from the scrum. They wanted to speed this play develop a little bit, was Bradford. Watson. Inside to Paul Medley. This time it's John Emerald. Got out of the scrum, drifted round, and is there to keep driving. More like it from Gratian, getting a bit of a head of steam on, getting some power. Now Northern with the numbers out wide if they can move this ball. But Fox decides once again to kick it down into that strong wind, really catching that one. Really just a bit of a dig from well inside his own half, and the ball going dead. So John Bentley coming, giving his three-quarters a bit of a rest, driving the ball out. Lawless tries to shoot away from that in half-back, but Bradford Northern now becoming aware of it. Did Paul Newell have got a hand to that one? Halifax still keeping the ball alive. Ball goes down, but Bradford got it. Well, referee saying that something a little bit untoward there. I couldn't see anything wrong with that, and I'm sure you couldn't. But Halifax gratefully take the free kick, which takes them right onto the halfway line. So Gary Lord drives us forward. And of course Robinson again, zipping the ball out. Jackson again, but this time it's a good tackle by Bradford. Roy Powell chopping his man down. Yeah. Once again, another good tackle by Medley. Some of the Bradford Northern tackling has been superb tonight. None more so from that man Medley. One was out wide for Halifax now as they go out wide. Really, they could have done with the centre there, but in fact the second row man Perrott got in there. Robinson cuts inside. So Halifax now. Hagan gives the ball to Bentley, who drifted in. There's no way through, that's good defence. Once again for Bradford, the ball's being lost. And the referee saying it was the last tackle, so Jerry Cordell having a bit of a let-off there. Halifax make another substitution. Former Dudley Hill Junior, Henry Sharp. Straightforward exchange there for Graham Hallis, who doesn't really like it. He shakes his head. Sharp will take up that right wing position, allowing Bentley to go into the centre. You never like being brought off, and especially not in your own hometown, and I'm sure young Graham Hallis a bit little said about that one as Powell takes the ball in, but of course Malcolm Riley's got to try something. His team's down, there's 10 minutes to go. David Heron steps inside, but there's nobody there. So the Bradford players have got to start reading David Heron. He's got that step, he makes the gap for you. Must be a wonderful play to run off the way he steps in, makes the gap, holds the ball up for you. And once again, a good kick from Fox into the corner. Schuster looking a little bit dangerous, but and the ball's being dropped, but I'm sure Bradford will get penalised, and they have, and there was really no way there that Roy Powell got a hand in it. It was just Schuster trying to little quick play the ball, caught the ball on his knee, and the referees have to do so often these days when they don't know what else to do to give a penalty. Halifax decides to tap it. John Bentley, he's looking for working nice and fresh. Got a man outside and gets the ball away to Sharp. Sharp very, very fast, only slight, but they can't afford to give him an inch. Well, no love missing him, no love missing his man as Lawless once again shoots away from half-back, and Bradford have got to be aware of this. Hagan straightens up. Powell there though, some big defence from Bradford. Paul Gratian still hasn't let the side down since he's gone on with his defensive work. It's time Robinson cuts inside. Men outside here now, it's a one-on-one. Henry Sharp. Could play there, wasn't it? Last ditch tackle there really from Muller that saved the day for Bradford there. And Halifax in numbers here, but if Jackson decides to go himself and eventually gets that ball away. Preston has the ball, but he's been forced back. The ball goes inside. He's had a trip. No, says Connolly. Bradford hasn't moved up again on the outside, and there's gaps again out there. Sharp steps inside, and Halifax keeping the ball alive superbly, keeping it going, but Bradford have got to move up and getting this Halifax line. They're hanging back off them, giving him the opportunity to go in. And Bally's going to go in here. Steve Lay's going to go in for a try. That's a lovely try, but really Bradford have nobody to blame but themselves. They didn't move up with 3-4 chances to do that, giving Halifax chance after chance after chance, and eventually Steve Lay said thank you. They took the ball and shot him for the corner. Going to be a difficult kick, but Schuster, certainly a prolific marksman. Bradford Northern putting Steve McGowan back into the fray. Kevin being brought off the pitch. Maybe one or two of those little defensive headers out there, allowing Henry Sharp to get outside him. There's forced Peter Fox to make the substitution for the last 8 minutes left. McGowan, no change that wing position. He'll tighten things up a little bit. So we've altered, what a all to play for now in this really exciting cup tie, really livening up at last. Roy Powell goes in, knocks Parrott down, and really there's only been 1 team in it. Bradford have allowed Halifax to come back into the game. One thought really in the first half that Bradford Northern sort of all that pressure and Halifax couldn't even get out of the 25. That was maybe going to be a formality in this second half. However, they found otherwise. So all credit to Halifax that they battled away. Good pick up there that time by Lawless. Long ball back to Hagan, who puts the ball to the injured man Steve McGowan. Looks a little bit gingerly, but eventually picks the ball up. Goes well. It goes round Lord. So Watson shoots away from acting half-back. Lex a step forward. This time it's John Hamer. He spits, and John there looking for support. There's nobody with him, and maybe one or two of these Bradford players are getting a little bit tired. Very, very heavy going out there. Paul Dixon. Bradford, of course, very, very heavy set. Of course, with Medley and Newlove in the pack. But Medley and Newlove in the centres. They've got two 15.5 stone centres as well, so very much a power thing as Fox hoists that one up. That famous little kicks. Lays right under it, has no problems. Bradford up very, very fast. Dummy kick through from Fairbank. So at the moment, Halifax just pinned inside this 25, and it's where Bradford have got to keep on the kick ball alive. There's an overlap on here. But Preston really had no way through there. Cordell now playing with all the confidence in the world. And just hope he gets a running chance. That's 4 good tackles from Bradford. Halifax getting nowhere at the moment. Robinson feeds the ball. Schuster has the ball, but centre to Bradford men as we come to the last tackle. Hagan's in the line, he hasn't dropped back. Puts this one across, straight to Cordell. Cordell with a little bit of time. Surely they're all offside, he's seen the gap, he's put the ball in the corner. Shoots away, is it just going to go dead? No, it's a superb kick from Denny Cordell. He can't put a foot wrong today. Maybe one or two thought he took the wrong option there, but he's seen the defence come up very, very fast. So they kick out underneath those posts, so they come to the final 4 minutes. Bradford Northern 10, Halifax 8. Well, Halifax bring the ball into touch 2 years ago, and one would have thought that maybe a little slack play from Bradford, allowing Halifax to get ahead of the ball, but with these new rules, there really is nothing for the kickers. A superb kick like that will go to Bradford Northern, they'll get head and ball. Big push from Bradford. David Watson comes into the line, takes his time, he's spitting around, he's got the ball to Medley. Medley's seen a big gap, he's going to get his head down and go for this. But his old lead buddy there, John Bentley, shadowing him very, very closely. Back inside to Newlove. Newlove with those strides. Strides out of tackles like nobody's business. Right, Bradford Northern now taking it. That's a great break. That's it. That's game, set and match to Carl Fairbank. End of story. Good night, Vienna. Great play there from Bradford, and Halifax have toiled and tried so hard. The first time Bradford Northern get the pin their ears back and take them on. Carl Fairbank just busting the Halifax defence. Really for a match winner. I told the Halifax commentator next to me shakes his head in disbelief, but it's really only what Bradford should have been doing half an hour ago. There we have the kick to Eddie Fox, and I'm sure this will be a formality. And he makes no mistakes, so Bradford Northern will be going for the last couple of minutes. Nice little 8-point cushion. Well, Paul Newlove just been announced man of the match. But you're going to hear Billy Cordell, still one of the favourites with the crowd. A man they love to hate. So the final field of dice now, and Aaron shooting away. Grayson cuts inside. So Dixon. Once again, the familiar pattern that Bradford have had when they've had the ball. Kicking it into that corner. Giving had a young Steve Lane no respite. And they get the ball in. That's in that corner. Henry Sharp, not really expecting that one. Nothing wrong with the pass. I just think Henry was not expecting it. Simple as that, really. Last couple of minutes. And the likely thing here now that Bradford Northern are going to score again, and really not put a true reflection on the game. Fox is still there. Comes the Northern chant. Roy Powell, terrible pass there by Powell. Halifax come away with the ball. Bentley steps inside. Will he give this ball? Well, he had a chance to give it there to Preston, but decided to go himself. Hagan out to the Devorty. Devorty. Good dummy from Devorty.
Don't take this, please remember.
So Bentley again designed to step inside, once again with Preston free on the outside. Jackson running very, very strongly once again for Halifax. They'll now moving to injury time. But really hasn't gone Halifax's way, you can see. A bit of a juggling act there from Michael Hagan. Hasn't really gone for them. Bradford once again coming away with the ball this time. As I said, we're now in injury time. Scrum down with Bradford's head and ball. Will Bradford kick straight away from the scrum? We'll have to wait and see. No, Watson comes into the line. And he struggles and nearly gets away, but doesn't quite get away from Hagan, who has tackled well. Dixon going out of the pack well. Bradford Northern will look to move this ball wide once again, and the facts have cramped right in. John Eamon, who's worked tirelessly throughout the night, taking that ball in, possibly the last occasion, he'll suck it today. Gratian doing a little bit of a run round. A big frame, a big man to get round this ball, Gratian. Can certainly hold the defence off. Back to Watson, takes a very late tackle from Bentley there. And really everybody, referee, linesman, all missing that one. But quite sensibly, David Watson taking no retribution. So really, what's been a typical cup tie, very, very cold December evening. We finish up with a final score of Bradford Northern 16, Halifax 8. Bradford Northern make a long trip down M1 to London on Sunday, where hopefully they'll be beating London Crusaders.